Okay, so we did dynamic cascading by using the activity, report definition, and data page. So now you tell me, so do we need to use activity? So no, right? Because of we are able to achieve by using the report definition and data page. So in the report definition, each time what it does, so it will hit on the database and it fetch the data. Okay, but when it is compared to activity and report definition is fine, but so here data is the static, right? So we can go for database. So database can hold the data for long time, so based on the scope that we already discussed. Okay, so in this case we can go for data page. Okay, so let's say, let me open one activity. Any activity, you see by default one warning. Okay, so this is the max records, this is the different one, you see this. So this is the common warning for all the activities. The use of activity rules should be limited. The need for activities can be reduced by using data transforms as well as techniques such as a case management and other things. Okay, so the use of the activity rule should be limited. Okay, so what it does, so we have a alternative rules also that we will be discussing later classes. Okay, so if you are able to achieve one scenario by using the other rules, then we should not go for activity. Okay, so until unless we cannot do by using the other rules, then only we have to go for activities. Okay, so now we will start designing our loan application. Okay, so what are the things we discussed so far? These are very basics. Okay, so as part of our application we will be creating different work types. Those are called loan types. Okay, so auto loan is one work type. Okay, so home loan, under home loan we have equity loan and mortgage loan. So equity and mortgage comes under home loan. Spelling intena mortgage loan. Okay, see, we'll be creating these classes. Okay, so this is one work type, this is one work type, and this is another work type, but these two work types will be creating under home class. Okay, so we will be creating all these work types by referring to the work class. Okay, so you know the class group, right? So class group or work class both are same. We will be creating these work types by referring to that class. Okay, so that these will be belongs to class group. And okay, so we'll be creating, first we'll create auto loan class. Okay, so we have to create auto loan class by referring to this class. So in order to create a property, you have to go to the data model, and under data model we have a property, right? The similarly, in order to create a class, right click on the class. So class is available under sysadmin category. Okay, so class is an instance of the class rule obj class. Okay, so class definition discuss చేసుకున్నాం కదా మనము. Yeah, did we discuss class definition, Rafi? That is generic definition. Okay, so PRPC class
Collection.
yeah,
The class is a collection of methods, which is going to be.
that is generic one. So class defines the scope or applicability of the rule. Okay, so whatever the rules you create under the class, those rules actually doesn't store in the class. Those will be stored in the rule set. Okay, so create a class called auto loan. Miriam, take one paper, write it. Okay, right. Okay. So yeah, so we are going to create auto loan class, and it is a work type because of it is going to generate some of the work instances. Okay, so you will go to the bank, so either you can apply auto loan or mortgage or equity. Okay, so label, put auto loan, class name. What is the class name? This is the class name. Okay, so now you tell me what is the immediate parent of this class. So this complete one is a class, right? Yeah, what is the immediate parent of this auto loan class? Immediate parent, CMB hyphen CMB loans hyphen work. Okay, so let me explain you. So basic things are very important. So this is our work class, right? So everything we are going to create under this. Okay, so this is the child class, obviously, right? So auto loan is a child class. And what is the immediate parent class of this? You go to the rightmost type and you take the prefix. By looking at the name, you should be able to tell. Okay. So what is the immediate parent of this class, highlighted class? This part, the initial portion, the substring. Okay. So what is the immediate parent of this? This one, CMB. Okay. So here CMB, CMB-CMB loans and CMB-CMB loans work are parent classes of this class. Okay. సో ఈ క్లాసెస్ లో ఏమైనా ఉంటే ఈ క్లాస్ వాడుకోవచ్చా లేదా? ఆబ్వియస్ గా వాడుకోవచ్చు బికాస్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఏ చైల్డ్ క్లాస్. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద ఆటో లోన్ వర్క్ టైప్ అండ్ this is the class name and it is getting stored in this rule set. So class is not associated with rule set version. Okay, it is only associated with rule set name. Okay, and you tell me, so is this abstract class or concrete class? See, I'm not creating it. We haven't saved as just by default it will come abstract. But see, this auto loan is a abstract, or so do we need to select abstract or concrete? Why? That is not exact reason actually. So why we need to select this as a concrete class?
We are going to implement this class.
Exactly, that's it. So we are going to implement, right? So we are going to generate the work items by using this class. So it must be a concrete class and it will have a table connected. So yeah, so what are the work types we are going to create by referring to the parent class like work class? The same table will be saved. Okay, but when you run auto loan you will have a unique ID. Similarly, when you run mortgage you will have some unique work object ID. These are implementation classes or work types, case types we can call it. Okay, and sometimes we may also call these are also work classes because of it is getting generated the work instances. అర్థమవుతుందా కృష్ణ చైతన్య? Okay, so we need to create it. It is a concrete class. Obviously we need to change, right? Okay, so created in version. Okay, and now you tell me, is this a class group or belongs to class group? See, only work class is a class group. All remaining all, see, that's what I told you, right? If you are going to create a class by referring to the work class, that becomes a belongs to a class group. So belongs to a class group. Okay, and so when we say this is a belongs to class group, so we need to select the class group name. Okay, so you remove auto loan, just you put only work class. This is the class group. Okay, and directed inheritance, you can select the framework class. Right? So we created an application by using the framework and implementation, right? So if you put something under this class can inherit those things. Otherwise not. Okay. So this is up to you. So if you want to create something under implementation class and if you want to reuse it to implementation, then you have to use the direct inheritance. So pattern inheritance always will be there. So if we have a pattern inheritance, what is the pattern inheritance for this? All the parent classes, right? So this is connected to a pattern inheritance. That means this class can utilize the characteristics from work class. Clear? Okay. So now, so for class we need to give some description. Okay, this is auto loan. Okay, and save it. That's it. These are mandatory fields. Okay, so without this you cannot save the class. Okay, now we created the auto loan class and you refresh all. See what happened? Auto loan work type created. So similarly, we need to create a one more class called home. Create the same way you can create. Go to the class home and what is the class name? Work hyphen home. Create. Sorry, class. What happened? Class names that start with character restricted. Okay. CMB. Okay. So this is also a concrete class. And you tell me this is also a belongs to class group. Okay. So when we say belongs to class group, we need to select the class group because of it will say the same table. Okay. So and select the framework class. So yesterday there was one interview question. So if my class is ABC, what would be the implementation layer? So A hyphen framework hyphen B framework hyphen C. Simple. See what is the work class? By looking at this, can you say the work class name? Implementation work class? It would be CMB hyphen CMB loans hyphen work. So you will not have framework. Okay, that's it. You remove the framework, that will become implementation work class. Okay. So now go to the history. Okay, that's it. Save it. Next. So we need to create equity loan and mortgage loan. So which are comes under home class. Okay. So you can right click on the home and create classes. Okay. So not just Kuntunara, Naveen garu. Okay. So we are going very slow, right? So not down. Create sysadmin class. This is equity loan. Okay. create, and it is a concrete, and it is also belongs to a class group, and select the class group name.
Yeah, Satya.
Yeah,
Then the class. There is another group is also there belongs to class group. Another one is that does not belongs to the group. What is that?
yeah, all the data classes are doesn't belongs to class group. So we have
What is it?
created, yeah, so we have created country details, state details, city details, right? Those are data classes, those store the reference data. So it is not part of application. So data type is used to store the reference data outside of an application. It will have a dedicated database table, and all those data classes are doesn't belong to class group. Okay. See, let me show
Means
you one. Got it? So let me show you that one data class. Go to the definition, and you see, so this is a doesn't belongs to a class group, and it is inherited from OOTB class called data dash. Okay, these are the data classes. Okay, so if you expand this, you will see the data. So this is one of the predefined class, right? All the data classes are derived from the predefined class called data dash, and all the data classes are doesn't belongs to a class group. Okay, clear? So we created, what is this? Equity, right? Now, so similarly, we need to create mortgage loan also. Okay, this is equity, right? So refresh the class group. So if we expand form, you will see equity. The similarly, we need to create mortgage loan. Is spelling correct? Mortgage. Is A will come here. Mortgage. Okay, correct. Okay, so let's create a mortgage loan. So it is also a concrete class, and which is belongs to class group, and select the class group name. Okay, and change the directory inheritance, and save it. These are mandatory, right? Clear so far? Any doubts? Okay, so we created all our types. Okay, see, whatever the things common for auto loan, equity, and mortgage, we will create under work class, because see, so as part of this application, we need borrower details form. That is the first form of our application, right? So he is going to enter. So either, so who is the borrower? The person who is going to take the loan is called a borrower. Okay, if I go to the bank, if I take a loan, I will become a borrower. Okay, so the borrower details are mandatory. If we take auto loan or equity or mortgage, borrower details are common. So that borrower details form is required for auto loan, mortgage, and equity. So we need to create under auto loan, equity, and mortgage. So instead of creating that form under these three different classes, you create it in common place so that you can inherit that. Okay, so now let's see, you can create it under framework class, that is the directory inheritance of all these work types, or you can create it under work class so that it can reuse that. So all these are child classes of this work class. Is it correct or not, Naveen? Obviously all these are child classes, right? So we created these classes from inheriting the work class. Okay, so if we create a form under work class, can we use that to all the work types? Yes. Okay, so so this is how inheritance works. Okay, so now as part of our application, so we'll be creating different work class or data classes. Okay, so we'll create a separate data class for borrower, and we will create a page property under work class, and we will give the data class as a page definition to that, and we can uh, use those properties by referring to that page property. Okay, so we have a single value property, page list, page group, like that. So as of now, you know page and single value property and page list also. So while we were working on country details, state details, so it fetch automatically px results, right? It fetch the data and it will put on px results page list property. So in order to hold multiple records, you need a page list. In order to hold multiple properties, you need a page. In order to hold a single value, you need a single value property. Okay, so generally in the real times, we create data classes and we will create the properties under data classes. Okay, in the very rare scenarios, very less properties we create under work class. Okay, so I will create all the borrower related properties under borrower details class and will refer to work class. Okay, so in the future, if you want to modify, if you want to add one more property, so directly we'll go to the borrower details data class and you can add it. So if you create every property under work class, it will be difficult to identify later onwards. Okay, okay, the first step is, so we need to create a borrower details data class. So similarly, how we create country details, state details, city details. Okay, so let's create a borrower details data class under implementation layer. Okay, mm, go to the data explorer. Okay, create a, go to the drop down, add data type. So data class name is borrower. So create it under implementation data class. Okay, so submit it, and we need to create all the required properties. Okay, so borrower first name, last name, okay, borrower income, so we have to create all this. Okay, so here borrower, right? The, what are the properties we have? First name, so this is nothing but borrower's first name. Last name, so here we are not storing the data. Okay, just we are creating the properties and we use these properties in the work class. Okay, so and we will use these properties on the user interface. So whatever the the data, so user enter on the user interface, that will be stored in the corresponding data class. That will become a transaction data. Okay. First name, last name, date of birth. So date of birth, it is a date. So we need to select date only. Okay. So if you want date and time, you can select this property type. Okay. So text means it accepts everything. Numbers, characters, special characters also. Email is a text, and asset total. So borrower can have assets and liabilities, right? So before they are providing the loan, they will check how much assets he is having and how much liabilities he is having. Okay. So we are going to create asset total, which is a decimal. So it can have, you know, so like you can enter the decimal values. Okay, it should be decimal. So liability total is also a decimal, and credit score. You can create any order. Okay. So credit
No, చిన్న
score.
డౌట్ అమ్మా.
Sorry.
అది పైన ఈమెయిల్
Yeah.
ఆ ఈమెయిల్ దగ్గర మీరు టెక్స్ట్ పెట్టారు కదా,
Yeah, we can select text or email also. We have a email. I will tell you that. So when
ఓకే
we
కానీ అక్కడ
hmm,
కానీ అక్కడ ఈమెయిల్ పెడితే వర్క్ అవట్లేదు ఏంటన్నా?
I will tell you. Okay.
ఓకే
So that is, so if you select the email, so email must have a @ right? So you need to enter that. Okay. So we'll discuss that later. So credit score decimal. Next, income. Okay. So borrower will have a credit score also, right? The income, total income of the borrower. So which is decimal. And marital status. So marital status, which is a radio button. So if it is married, you will select yes, otherwise no, right? So here directly you cannot select the control radio button. So you first you change it to the pick list, then you can change the control. Okay. So like this also. So control you can change at any point of time, but not property type. Okay. So this is the control, text input control, right? So now, so for marital status, the value should be yes or no. So let me open this property from here and go to the control, change it to px radio button, and provide the values in the local list, yes or no. Save it. Okay. Now, okay, borrower details completed. Suppose if borrower is married, then he will have a spouse also, right? So we have to capture spouse details also. But spouse also will have first name, last name, everything, right? So instead of creating again first name, last name, income, these properties, you can inherit the properties which are there in the borrower details data class. Okay, you create a property called spouse in the borrower details data class, and you inherit those properties. And spouse details data class must be inherited from borrower details data class. Okay, so that then only spouse can inherit those properties. right? So now let's create, okay, this is okay, yeah. So let's create a spouse property, so which is a page property. Why page property? It can have multiple properties. Okay, it can hold multiple properties, right? So, okay, so before that, what we will do? So we created a data class, and we have to use this in the work class. Okay, so you create a page property called borrower under work class. Okay, so next step, right click on the work class. After completing the data class, entering the properties, you come back to the work class. Create data model property we are creating. Borrower page property. So it is a single page, right? So you have to select single page. Clear? So when you select a page or page list, you must have to give the page definition as a class. So here we need to give borrower data class. Getting or any doubts? Now save this. And you refresh the class group, expand the data model, expand property, expand the borrower. See, so this is the single value property, this is the page property. You see some difference, right? If you expand this, you will see all the properties which are there in the data class, because this page is created by referring to the borrower details data class. Okay, clear? So now go to the borrower data class and create a property called spouse. అర్థమవుతుందా మీకు? Yeah. And which is a, so a field group list is nothing but a page list. It is a field group is nothing but a page. Okay, so here you can create a data class. Okay, so a new, click on new. Okay, here this option in the Google Chrome it is not working, so we can do it the different ways. Okay, this is the easiest way. First I will tell you. Okay, let me log in into the application by using the different browser. Okay, directly we can create, otherwise we can create a class like this. Okay, you create a spouse details data class and you create a spouse property here and you give the class. Okay, we will do that way first. Okay, so one way is directly you can create a data class from here. Another way is the regular way. So create a spouse data class. Go to the drop down, add data type. Spouse. Submit. Sorry. Spouse, right? So this class must be inherited from which class? Borrower, right? Because it has to inherit the characteristics from the borrower. Okay, so again, why we need to create the first name, last name? We have a parent level, so we don't need to create, right? So the spouse can utilize all the properties. Okay, so we have a spouse data class. Now go to the borrower details data class, create a property called spouse. Okay, so here select the field group. Here we need to select the data type, that means data class from here drop down. So we already created, right? You can select that. Where is that? This one, right? Select this and done. Okay, this is one way. Otherwise directly you can create a data class from here. Okay, you can try that. So just what you do, you click on new button and so the same rule form will be open. Okay, where you can select, you can enter the class name as spouse and parent class is borrower. Because of borrower is already created, right? You can select from that. Okay, so now refresh it, expand data model, expand borrower. Under borrower you will have a spouse. If you expand spouse, you will not have any properties because we haven't. See, these properties can use. So if I want to use the property called first name for spouse, how can we use? Borrower dot spouse dot property name, first name. Okay, clear? Right. So as part of our application, so we need to create many classes. Okay, so going forward we'll be creating those. And now let's create a borrower details section under work class. Okay, next step, create a, so we have properties, right? So we need to use those properties on the layout of the user interface section. Okay, so create user interface section. Borrower details. So why we are creating this under work class means this is common for all the work types. So that is the reason we are creating it under work class. So you know, right? So section is a collection of layouts. So by default, you will have a dynamic layout. Okay. So here we are going to work on a scenario. First, we will capture the borrower details. Okay. If borrower select marital status as yes, then we need to display his spouse details also. Right. So we need to display spouse details whenever user select marital status as yes. Okay. So use the properties. You can drag it from there. Otherwise, take the text input. So first use few properties. Later you can use another properties. The first name. So it is a borrower's first name, right? So if it is a directly, so if you create under work class, you can directly select the properties. Okay, but so we need first name property which is there in borrower. That is called borrower first name. So you select borrower dot first name. Similarly, borrower dot last name. Borrower dot date of birth. Next, borrower dot marital status. Okay, we can use remaining properties later. It should be drop down, right? Sorry, it is a radio button. Okay, so we need to change the control. So if directly you drag from there, so you don't need to change the control here. Okay, so now, the properties are getting displayed one by one, right? So if you want to, display the properties side by side, you have to change the layout type as inline grid double layout format. Okay, so this layout is belongs to borrower. So put the layout name as borrower details. Clear? Okay, so below are borrower details. You can put like that. Okay, so if you want to put the header, go to the layout. Okay, select the checkbox, display header and title, and put the label. Below are borrower details. This is the header title. Save it. Use one more layout for spouse. Layout, dynamic, spouse details. So what are the properties we need here? Depends, right? So I'm going to use spouse first name and last name. So how can we use borrower dot spouse dot first name? Okay, copy, paste, change it to last name. Okay, change the, and we need spouse income. Okay, so if you want, you can use all those properties because of it is in same inheritance path. So now change this layout format to inline grid double. Okay, so now whenever we select marital status as yes, then only this layout should be displayed. Okay, so we need to put the condition. Okay, if marital status is equivalent to yes, then display this layout. Okay, so here, so we have a rule called when. So it is available under decision category. So by using the when rule, we can put the visible condition. Okay, so the layout form should be visible whenever marital status is equivalent to Y. If it is not, it should not be visible. It should be hiding. Okay. Okay. So now, so we have a when rule. So when is a decision rule will be available under decision category. Okay, so it is like a if statement. It can return true or false kind of. Okay, if this, it will happen some action, if not, it will perform some other action. Okay, it is like a if statement. Okay, so it is available under decision category. Go to the decision when. Okay, so when is an instance of the class rule obj when. That means all the when rules we create will be stored in the table which is connected to rule obj when. Okay. So this is regarding what is the requirement. It is depends on marital status, right? Okay. So create a when rule called is married. Okay, so create so double click on this to put the condition. What is our condition? If marital status like borrower dot marital status is yes, then only the corresponding action will perform. So wherever we invoke this rule, that time it will check whether this condition is true or false. If it is true, then it will perform some action. So but we are going to put in the layout visibility, right? So if it is true, then only that layout will be visible. Okay, so now go to the borrower details section. So after creating the when rule, create a when rule, save it, go to the borrower details section. So we need to put the condition on this layout, spouse details layout. Okay, so go to the settings, see visibility. What is that? What is the option we have currently? Always means it will be, it always displays. It always displays to the user. Okay, no, we don't want that. If it is yes, if marital status is yes, then only we need this. Okay, so here we can make it visible based on when rule or based on expression. So we have when rule, right? Select condition when rule and you select the when rule from drop down. Okay, so whatever the when rules we have under this class will be displayed in the drop down. So submit. Okay, when it is, whenever user click on this property, right? So here user can select yes or no. So whenever user click on this button, so this property on this radio button, so it has to be, section has to be refreshed. When section has to be refreshed, it will execute that when rule. Whenever that when rule execute, based on that condition, it will decide whether that layout has to be displayed or not. Okay, so now go to the marital status view properties. This is called cell properties. Okay, note down. Go to the marital status cell properties. Go to the actions. We need to create an action set. So here you see, once you click on action set, you will see event and action. So what is the event? So whenever you click on that, right? So mouse events would be a click, not right click and hover. So hover means like when you hover the mouse, it is going to execute. Okay, it is going to refresh the section. So here mouse event should be a click and action should be refresh, display refresh. You know, right? Already this. Okay, so that the current section will be refreshed. Okay, so now I don't want, so like if you invoke one section in another section, and if you want to, so refresh that, you can select other section and you can call that one. Okay, so but the current section should be refreshed. Save it. So we can check this whether it is working fine or not. Go to the actions, preview. So is it displaying currently? So we don't know, right? So whether borrower is married or not. Yes, I am married. So it's displaying, right? No, I am not married. Yes. Okay. So whenever we select this, yes, then only the spouse details layout will be displayed. So this is called conditional layout. Conditional layout displaying. Okay. So clear or any doubts so far? So then what we will do is, so can we call the section in the flow directly? Can we call section in the flow?
No.
Then how can we call? Yes, exactly. So we need to create a flow action and we need to invoke this section in the flow action, and you take that flow action and you call in the section, sorry, flow. Okay, the flow where in the flow, where you will invoke. So flow is a collection of shapes, right?
Yeah.
So where you will call exactly that flow action. The connector which is emanating from assignment shape, which is coming from assignment shape. Okay, so let's create a flow action under same class called work class, and you call the section. What is the process flow action? Flow action name is borrower details and call the section. Call the section called borrower details. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be creating the flows under each work type called auto load, mortgage, equity, and we will invoke this flow action. Okay, yeah, so time is over, right? So you can wind up for the day. We will reconnect on tomorrow. Okay, so thanks for joining. Any doubts?
No, Satya. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Bye.